Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Today's edition, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar sucks. Brock Lesnar, known as the next big thing, and managed by Paul Heyman, and Triple H's current Plan C to get the title away from John Cena. I don't think Brock Lesnar deserves to be in a world title match 2014 SummerSlam. Not at all. Let me tell you why. In Brock Lesnar's career in WWE, which spans approximately 4 years of wrestling time now, he debuted at Backlash 2002. His last match during that era was WrestleMania 2004. He returned Extreme Rules 2012 to current. He's had 23 pay-per-view matches in his career. He's 14-8-1. Isn't horrible, isn't spectacular. Out of those 23 single matches he's had 13 title matches. He's 8-4-1 in title matches. Which leaves him 8-4 in non-title matches. I'm sorry, 6-4 in non-title matches in wrestling. Out of those 23 single matches and 13 title matches, it's not a very spectacular record. If you look at his record before the first part of his career, 2002 to 2004, he was 9-6-1 at pay-per-views. Since then, he's 5-2. He's only wrestled 13 different wrestlers in pay-per-views. Why is this? If he's the next big thing, why isn't he out there wrestling 300 days a year? Why isn't he out there wrestling, day in, day out? Brock Lesnar will never be considered one of the greatest in WWE history. Like a Shawn Michaels, like a CM Punk, a Bret Hart, an Owen Hart, an Edge, a Christian, Stone Cold Steve Austin. The guys that worked their way up, were tag team champions, became an Intercontinental Champion, then became a world champion. Look at Shawn Michaels' career. Started as a tag team as the Rockers. Became an Intercontinental Champion. And finally achieved his boyhood dream at WrestleMania by beating Bret Hart. Brock Lesnar was giving his first title opportunity and given the title. Yes, it was an era of 2002 to 2004 where they were trying to develop young guys, and they thought this next big thing was the next big thing. He really can't talk that well. He has to have a manager to talk for him. Yeah, I will give him his credit. Back in the early 2000s, when he first debuted, he did have some spectacular work with Kurt Angle. Was it 5-star match quality? No, not by far. But it was good matches. It was watchable stuff. That whole work he had there with Angle and everything for a while was some really good matches involved in that. Seeing Brock Lesnar do it, shooting star press, not kill himself, but he did it. And just looking at his people he's wrestled, he's only wrestled 5 guys more than once. He's wrestled Triple H 3 times. He's got 2 victories over him. He's wrestled The Undertaker 3 times. Brock Lesnar's undefeated against The Undertaker. The Phenom. I know that Undertaker lost at WrestleMania 30 to Brock Lesnar. Lesnar broke the streak. I was at WrestleMania 30. When that match happened, and the referee 1, 2, 3, 70+ thousand people, you could hear a pin drop. Everybody's standing there going, what just happened? They showed highlights on Raw when Lesnar returned, and they show a fan standing going, it could have been me. It wasn't, but it could have been, because that's how shocked I was. The entire arena was like, what just happened? Then they flashed up to 21-1. And a couple of little stupid Lesnar fans started freaking out, but even Lesnar fans weren't freaking out at first. Ted DiBiase recently said that it was a mistake. That he wasn't supposed to knock out Taker, and that's why he ended up winning. That the referee should have stopped it or whatever. The Taker went backstage and collapsed, and couldn't find out Taker had severe concussion, and so I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not. But still, Lesnar. Unfortunately, Undertaker is a big Lesnar fan. He's a big UFC fan. Undertaker came out and said at one point that if UFC would have been around when he got into pro wrestling, he would have been in UFC. So that would make sense why a Brock Lesnar type people let him get over on him like that. Big Show, 2-2. Kurt Angle is the only wrestler to have more than one match versus John Cena and have a winning record. But again, the stuff they did back in 2003, 2004 was actually some good matches. John Cena is 1-1 versus Brock Lesnar. 2003 Backlash and Extreme Rules 2012. Those are the two matches they've had against each other. So if you follow that like anything else, it looks like Lesnar's supposed to win that. There are 3 wrestlers that are undefeated versus the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. RVD. Don't know how, but RVD is 1-0. The late Eddie Guerrero is 1-0. Goldberg is 1-0. I don't know. I just know, all I know is Brock Lesnar isn't the greatest superstar of all time. In the last 2 years, he's been in 7 pay-per-view matches. He's had 5 wins. I have a list of 11 people that have had either 5 wins or more in pay-per-views in the last 2 years. Dolph Ziggler. Former world champion, former Money in the Bank winner. Why isn't Dolph Ziggler getting a world title shot? He's had 5 wins, so has Brock Lesnar. Curtis Axel has had 5 pay-per-view victories in the last 2 years. Do I want a main event right now, Curtis Axel versus John Cena? No. Am I a Curtis Axel fan? Yes. Build him up. He's a 3rd generation superstar. Put him with a Randy Orton, like you have Seth Rollins. Create a, maybe break away Randy Orton from the Authority, and do something with Randy and Axel and Seth Rollins and maybe somebody else, and recreate an evolution. We all know what the Shield did, almost a 2-year run as a faction. Create factions like there used to be back in the day. Everybody knows the number 1 faction, 4 people. Wonder what that was? 4 horsemen. So create something with an Axel and build him up. Cody Rhodes has had 6 more victories in a pay-per-view in the last 2 years, and then Brock Lesnar. And what is he doing right now? He's playing a Stardust character with his brother Goldust. Bray Wyatt, up-and-comer, storyteller in the ring, can cut promos like nobody's business, the whole Wyatt family. Why not put world title and tag titles on this Wyatt family and run with it? Cesaro has had 7 wins. He really isn't doing much right now except kind of messing with the IC title and stuff. Let him break out and be a world champion. Former world champion Alberto Del Rio. 8 pay-per-view victories. Where's he at on SummerSlam card? Sheamus. Current United States champion. Former world champion. He's got more wins than Brock Lesnar. Why isn't he in that position? Roman Reigns. Not one of the greatest superstars. He's kind of he's a 2014 version of John Cena when John Cena came in. Few moves, people are starting to get behind him. The women and the kids are starting to like him. Why not have the John Cena versus the next John Cena? He's got 10 pay-per-view victories. Dean Ambrose also has 10 pay-per-view victories. Why not get a Dean Ambrose in the world title match? Why not set him up to succeed? Hey, it's great work they're doing with Seth Rollins having a briefcase and Dean Ambrose and former Shield. Give Dean Ambrose the world title. Let him run with it and do that feud then. Briefcase versus the world title. Friend versus enemy. Former brothers collide. You could sell tickets with that, especially as talented as those guys are. Seth Rollins, speaking of the devil, 11 pay-per-view victories. Why not let him cash in on Cena and do a one-on-one, and then, and even bring in Lesnar? It comes to number one on the list in victories in the last 2 years. Now, this list I have is compiled of my top 20 WWE superstars currently in wrestling. So there might be guys with more victories that are on this list because they're not my top 20. Randall Keith Orton. He has 12 pay-per-view victories in 2 years. Former multiple-time world champion. And, as he said on Raw, he has never gotten his one-on-one rematch for losing the title at WrestleMania. Yes, Randy Orton, John Cena, seen it once, seen it twice. All the matches are the same, we know, blah, 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 blah. You could change it up. Why not have it where Randy wins, have the Authority come out, beat down Cena, basically take him off TV for a while. You can bring him back heel like they wanted to. He's supposed to be going making a movie or some sort. But they won't do that. They want to do Brock Lesnar versus John Cena, which is going to be a big old train wreck. Brock Lesnar, I hate him. He doesn't deserve to be in the world title hunt. Part-time wrestlers do not need to be world champion. Look at Chris Jericho. He's a part-time wrestler. I'm a Jericho-holic completely. Chris Jericho is top 5 on my top 20 WWE superstar list. I don't want him in a world champion match right now. I want him to keep doing what he's doing with the Bray Wyatts of the world, and maybe do a little, angle with Cesaro, or, some of the young guys, and Curtis Axel maybe, build off of the Jericho. Use Jericho as a stepping stone. Because he puts up such great matches, has such great on the mic, he can teach a lot of these young guys. So, Brock Lesnar sucked. Brock Lesnar should not be in wrestling, in world title hunts. He should just go away. Because, this match at SummerSlam, once again I'll say it, it's going to be a train